Here are 3 flies that I might use, very likely might use, for the evening rise. Of course, you have to use what the fish want, and that's part of the trick, is figuring that out. But usually I would tie it a little smaller, but not necessarily. This is my Scatus, and it imitates caddis flies, of course, and also small stoneflies. This is the Scatus Dark, and that's with the dark one, it really disappears, so that's why I like to put this yellow part of the wing on top so that the fish sees the underside and we see that yellow wing on the dark water, and it can really help. And if you look at this fly from underneath, it looks just about like a caddis fly. It's got the legs and the stout body, or a little stonefly, and it's got the wing kind of spreading out around the sides of the abdomen. But anyway, that's been a real good one. And I use it all the time for all kinds of caddis hatches, and it floats really much better than it should for a fly that's got, no hackle. It's not sitting up on its hackle, and it doesn't have very much hackle, but that's partly why I think it's so convincing. And then we have the WD-40, which is hard enough to see on the water in the daytime, but you can imagine when the sun's down, this dark little fly, this little gray fly that just rests right on the surface of the water, very low. It's tough to see. But as I discussed in the article, and that's the article in Hooked Now magazine, which of course that's what this video is for, online magazine. This has been a really proven fly, and it's used a lot where fish are difficult. So it's had the test. I've tested it as well. And it imitates either a tiny hatching mayfly or a hatching midge. So it can be tied very small. But that's the WD-40. And then we have a spinner. Some of the mayfly spinners will come back to the water to lay their eggs and die after sunset. And a lot of spinners are kind of rusty colored. So this is called, I've seen it called the CDC spinner or the CDC Biot spinner. But anyway, this is the rusty one. So you could call it the CDC rusty spinner. I do. And you can tie it in other colors, of course, but it's got these interesting wings out of CDC. Each one is a feather, and I'll show you how to make those wings. Good pattern, Rene Harrop pattern, and a real good pattern, and makes good use of those materials. That's another one that I would use for the evening rise. But again, you can put some yellow on top, and that'll help. But when you get down to the really little flies, and you may have to use this fly, there are other ways to find your fly than to see it. And you'll have to read the article to understand what I'm saying. We don't have time here to go through all that. But all these are good choices for the evening rise. And if they don't work, try something else.